Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kelly and I live with complex regional pain syndrome. I have a blog which is theinvisiblewarrior.com, which solely speaks about living with CRPS. Um, and I actually haven't written in my blog for 2 years. I swore I would never be the person that would ditch their blog, and I swear it wasn't intentional. Um, but I honestly have just kind of been trying to live my life to the fullest. And writing takes a lot of time, and editing and posting and publishing and all of that. So um, I'm still getting people reaching out to me, asking me certain questions about CRPS. And so I thought that it would be helpful if I kind of turned my information that I've learned over the years into a YouTube channel. I do share a lot on my Instagram, but those stories are gone after 24 hours. So at least this is a place where things can land. And I can just share with you what's helped me over the years. Um, Please know that CRPS is very different for everyone. It's on a spectrum. I don't know anybody that has CRPS that looks like mine, and I don't know of anybody that has two people that have like the same symptoms and the same, exact issues with CRPS. So just know that CRPS does not look like the Google images all the time. When you type in CRPS and you look at images, that doesn't look what that doesn't look like what CRPS looks like all the time. Sometimes yes, but not all of the time. So I am 38 years old, and I've had CRPS for 8 years. Um, I uh, got CRPS when I was living in the Caribbean. I was leading a adventure camp for kids, and we were hiking this really tall mountain. I didn't even like fall down or feel like it sprained my ankle or anything. Just at the end of the day, the bottom of my foot was hurting so bad and around my ankle area. And I really didn't think that much of it because I also have what I've found out recently to be Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which just means that I am really prone to injuries. I sprain my ankles all the time. My joints, I'm really flexible, which is not great. And so I thought this was just like another injury, and I'm going to be better in 6 weeks. Um, I wasn't better in 6 weeks, and it took years before I got a diagnosis. I was told that, oh, you just have plantar fasciitis. Just roll your feet over, the frozen water bottles and keep moving. And I had friends with plantar fasciitis that were out there doing triathlons and marathons, and I couldn't even walk to my bathroom from my bed, which was about 8 feet. So I thought, what is going on? Like, I know that I have a high pain tolerance, and this is like killing me. This pain is crazy. But I continued to live with it. I continued to be active. At the time, I was taking kiteboarding lessons. I was swimming. I was hiking. I was still doing everything with this incredible pain. In 2014, I actually ended up in a wheelchair. I couldn't walk very well. And my podiatrist said, I think that you have RSD, which at the time, that's what complex regional pain syndrome was mostly known as, was regional sympathetic dystrophy. And she said, you need to fly off island immediately. And I thought, where am I going to go? Like, my whole life is here. Don't know anybody, any medical professionals in the States. I ended up hooking up with um, some doctors in Boston and flew out the next day for a pretty immediate appointment. Went through 3 days of tests, painful tests, nerve conduction stuff, which you should never do with somebody with CRPS, just saying. Um, and at the end of that, they said, you don't quite meet the criteria for CRPS because my feet don't look like the Google images, right? They're not huge and purple and shiny and all of that. But they are when I don't move them. So they did send me away with that diagnosis, and he said, whatever you do, don't change the way that you live. Keep living, keep being active, don't don't let this disease take over and don't Google it. Well, of course, I already had. And it was pretty terrifying. At that time, there wasn't very many YouTube videos out, there wasn't a lot of information. And that's why I originally wanted to put my blog out there to give that information to people that were being newly diagnosed. Um, and while his advice was meaning, it was well meaning, and it was some of the best advice that I got because I didn't give up. I kept pushing myself. I didn't sit down and just let the disease take over. He did tell me, he said, if you have to stand up out of this wheelchair, you will never walk. And that was hard. That took months of PT. Um, I was refusing to leave the Caribbean until it was months later when it, I was, you guys, I was in so much pain. It had to be bad for me to leave my home of 7 years living in like paradise, um, where I was doing well in my career and had amazing friends. I had to go back home to Virginia, um, and I had to move back in with my parents, um, just to get medical treatment. And I was told if I didn't move back, that I would lose the ability to walk. So um, I've lost a lot with this disease for a while. That was in 2015, and things kind of spiraled downhill for me for about 2 years. Um, my condition wasn't managed. I wasn't taking any pain medication. I was given stuff that wasn't helpful. I didn't respond well to the typical nerve medications that they share, and I was trying to work full time, commuting 2 hours a day. And I just remember thinking, like, I don't want to live if this is the way that my life is going to be. Like, I have no quality of life. Um, and I got through those 2 years. I started having ketamine infusions, inpatient at the time. I don't think they really do the inpatient anymore. I know that they don't at the place I was getting them. But that allowed me to get enough of my life back that I could start to gain momentum in building strength and managing my pain, and figuring out which pain medication was going to work for me. And it's different for everybody. Um, but I um, I took off a ton of work, a ton of time off work. I was on short-term disability for a ton of months at different times. Um, I was in the hospital a lot. I was in the emergency room, um, back in a wheelchair, couldn't drive, didn't have enough muscle in my feet to like push the pedal down on my car. And it was it was the most difficult time of my life. And I didn't want to keep living that way anymore. Um, and so I put all of my energy into writing the blog, The Invisible Warrior. And it started to give me hope because I saw that people were reaching out and it was helping others. Um, I continued to stay in PT. I learned to walk again in the pool. It is a very just long 2 years of pretty painful stuff. But 2017, my life started to turn around. I was able to get find out ways to manage my pain. Um, I did an 8-week mindfulness-based stress reduction course where I learned about mindfulness, learned to meditate. Um, I got into therapy. I have a great pain doctor that I see that um, helps with medication management and pain meds. I get ketamine infusions every couple months. And right now, 2019, we're going into the fall. I can walk on average about 7,000 steps a day, which is amazing. I can ride my bike for, uh, I think last summer I was up to like 15 miles. Right now I have a ski injury, so I'm back down a little bit. From that, I think I'm at like 5 or 6 miles right now. But yeah, I skied last year. I'm not allowing this disease to call the shots anymore. Um, and it's not a mind over matter thing. It's about finding all the balance in your life to manage it. Um, right now, I work from home. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, so I do therapy. I actually specialize in helping people with chronic pain now. Um, I do online therapy from my house, which allows me to regulate my health better. I have a wonderful partner who supports me. I have a great medical team, even though they're 5 states away. Um, and I really minimized a lot of the stress in my life, which allows me to be able to enjoy the things that I've always enjoyed. And throughout this process, I've been able to come back and find me again because I lost Kelly. I lost her when I was living in so much pain. I just can't describe to you like the amount of pain that I was in. Um, and yes, I still have bad days. I really do. There's days I don't get out of bed. But for the most part, my pain is managed. I am able to go into what I call remission with ketamine infusions, which basically means that for me, what that means is that my pain comes down to an average of about 5, and it can get down to a 0 at times, which is amazing. Um, and but it also still spikes at a 10. Like that doesn't ever go away. It's just that I'm able to bring it down a lot faster. Um, so I I just like I'm really thankful that I hung in there and that I didn't give up on myself. And that while I accepted that I had CRPS, I wasn't willing to accept that it was going to change who I was. Um, it changed what my life looked like, but then I decided what was in my control, and I worked on that, and I didn't focus on what was out of my control. Um, and so that's kind of my story in a nutshell. But I did want to create this channel to just talk about. I travel a ton with CRPS. I fly. I do road trips. I take bike rides. Um, I just I live my life to the fullest. I could try to go to the gym a couple times a week. I just went to the dentist yesterday. Actually, this side of my face is still kind of numb, but we can do all those things. There was years I was terrified of going to the dentist because in 2016 when I went to the dentist, I was in the hospital for 5 days. So I just want to create a place where, yes, CRPS is awful, it's horrible. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, but I also want to give hope to people that you you can still live your life. It's gonna look different, but you can still do that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I don't know how often I'll post, but hopefully often enough so it can create some content so it can help people. And yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. But I hope everybody's having a low pain day, and I'm gonna go for a bike ride. So I'll see you later.